224. How does the COR prepare the COR work plan?
Preparing a work plan involves 6 steps. 1. Include basic contract administration information in the plan. The COR work plan should include the following information: the contract title, the identity of the contractor and key contractor personnel, the physical location of files related to the contract and the contractor, a brief description of the work to be performed, the place of performance and delivery points, assign tasks, milestones for each task, and milestones for functions, including monitoring the contractor's quality assurance program, furnishing government property and monitoring its use, reviewing and responding to contractor reports and requests, receiving, inspecting, and accepting the contractor's work, certifying costs incurred and physical progress for payment purposes, monitoring compliance with the Small Business Subcontracting Plan. 2. Consider historical factors. The COR work plan should indicate the level of commitment or amount of time and effort that will be necessary to monitor the contract to ensure successful performance. The COR determines the level of effort by considering general historical factors and the contractor's performance history. The COR can review general historical factors to determine the necessary level of effort. See Figure 5.6. The COR should also review the contractor's past performance for the last 3 years, paying close attention to the most recent information. This review should be focused on determining the level of effort the government will have to expend and the amount of attention necessary to monitor the current contract. Figure 5.6. Historical factors to consider in determining level of effort. Performance history data will usually be filed by the contractor's name and will include the following information: contracts awarded and dollar amounts of each contract, items, services purchased, key personnel involved with the contract, delivery, performance results, contractor provided past performance information. Any deficiencies in the contractor's past performance should be noted. Some of these deficiencies might include missed delivery dates, labor problems, shortfalls in technical performance capabilities, financial difficulties, failure to meet reporting requirements, for example, progress reports, submission of subcontracting reports. At a minimum, the COR should look for the contractor's record of conforming to contract requirements, standards of good workmanship, record of forecasting and controlling costs, history of reasonable and cooperative behavior, commitment to customer satisfaction, business-like concern for the interest of the customer, reaction to remedies that were used by the government to correct problems. 3. Determine the techniques to be used for monitoring the contract. Contract monitoring is a typical function delegated to CORs. The level of effort that will be necessary for monitoring and the monitoring technique that will be used should be addressed in the COR work plan. The appropriate type of effort depends on the complexity and scope of the contract, as well as the contract's specific requirements for monitoring, inspection, and acceptance. Numerous techniques and procedures can be used for monitoring. A combination of techniques may be appropriate. Selecting a technique for monitoring will depend on what is to be monitored, the contractor's technical and schedule performance, costs, the contractor's financial condition, and the contractor's statutory compliance. The COR can choose to do nothing, that is, rely on the contractor's inspection system. Conduct progress or status meetings with the contractor and other government officials. Make on-site visits and other personal observations of the contractor's performance. Contact other government officials for input. Make telephone calls to the contractor and to other government officials. Review the contractor's requests and other correspondence. Review the contractor's required progress or status reports. Review the contractor's tracking and management systems. 4. Determine how to document performance under the contract. Based on the letter of designation, there may be a requirement that the COR document or provide the documentation necessary for two types of files: the official contract file, which can include the contracting office contract file as well as the contract administration office contract file, and a contractor general file, which contains information regarding the contractor's past performance as well as other documentation. Refer back to the section entitled Record Keeping and the Contract File and question 217 in this chapter for details regarding these file types, if necessary. 5. Identify areas of concern or conflict. Contract requirements and the contractor's ability, or lack thereof, to meet those requirements may at times cause concern or present a conflict for the COR. Examples of a conflict a COR might face include